Hey guys, welcome to this quick training video from AccuTradeFX.com. Now this is part 2 of useful confirmations. If you haven't watched part 1, I suggest you go back and watch that first. We talk about IPA or improper price action and trends and how you can use them to your advantage to assist you in your decision making with this algorithm. Now today we're going to be talking about something called equal highs and equal lows. Now, if you haven't heard of equal highs and equal lows, pretty self-explanatory. I'll mark out a few examples here on the screen just so you can get an idea. These here would be equal lows. These here would be equal, These here would be equal highs. Equal highs. These are equal highs here. So it's basically spots where price has come into and tested 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 times. Now these levels are what retail traders commonly refer to as support and resistance, but of course that isn't really the way that we do things here. We tend to work more on the institutional side of the coin. So what retail traders would normally do, say on this area here, this little set of equal highs here, is they would be placing shorts with stop losses just above. Now these are obviously areas of liquidity, so we'll just put a little dollar sign there. There's a lot of liquidity that gets built up here by retail traders, and the banks like this. So as you can see here, for these equal highs, price has come up through here and taken out all that liquidity, because for one person to make money in the markets, there has to be somebody else losing money. And because the banks trade at such large amounts, they will build up liquidity by making these patterns. And then once they've got enough liquidity sitting here from retail traders, which they can see, they will come and take that liquidity. So that's why retail traders get burned so often, because of this little trick that they use, and they do it over and over and over again. Same down here, you've got equal lows, forming equal lows. All the retail traders seeing this would be thinking, go long, so they're placing all their stops under here. And then, of course, the bank comes down, boom, takes all of that liquidity right here, and then comes on up and does it here. So, essentially, there's a perfect example right here where you can see just underneath intermediate resistance here, you've got 2 perfect equal highs have formed here. And we'll put another liquidity sign here for reference. Now we're on the 15-minute chart at the moment on the USD Swiss franc, and we've got our refresh rate set to 1 day. Now you could interpret this several ways depending on how you trade, but essentially retail traders would be wanting to short here, which isn't a great idea, because you're basically doing the opposite of what the banks are going to do, most likely. And of course, in this case, there'd be a lot of liquidity sitting up here about now, because they would see this as, oh, it's a double top, right? So they would be placing their shorts, and they'd have their stops up here, and then other people would have their buy stops set up here as well. So essentially what we would be looking for, looking at this picture here, is we would be looking for price to break through here. So shorting here is not something that we would do. We would be looking for it to break through here. If anything, we would be looking to go long from, say, here somewhere around the pivot area, which also lines up with some bankers candles. So I'm just going to show you now. We're just going to start playing forward. Now you can see it's come down and it's touched the pivot line. And there's going to be a lot of retail traders waiting for a retest of that yellow line so that they can short it. So you're going to get a lot of liquidity building up there. And as it nears, as it gets closer and closer to those equals, there'd be a lot, as this was moving up, there would have been a lot of people getting ready and adding extra liquidity to this pool here. And you can see they've just busted through there. And then they have done a bit of a backup, and then they've run all the way up to extension 1. So anyone that shorted this, anyone that had a stop here, would have been taken out straight away. Now you can see here that it's reached our quite popular extension 1 level and come straight back down. So if you had have seen price coming up to this level, you would have set your your sell limit order here, and you would have had your take profit here. That's how the extension traders do it with our algorithm anyway. And so you would have made a very quick, let's see how many pips there. So that would have been right there, would have been 4.6 pips. Now, if you were trading a rather large trade on that, you could have done pretty well out of that, despite it being 4.7 pips. It would have been quick money anyway. And then if we go on, you can see it's come up. It's tapped extension 1 again, so anyone with sell limits a second time round would have gotten in again, and of course straight back down to resistance. You would have been out of that trade once again, and you would have made yourself basically another 4.7 or so pips. So that is how you use equal highs and equal lows to sort of aid in the decision-making process. The more you look at the charts, the more you'll see these things. They pop up everywhere. You can see equal highs here. Price has come up and taken out that liquidity and gone off in the opposite direction. Now, that's also something that is quite common, is for the price to come up and take out equals and go off in the opposite direction. They just need to build up enough liquidity to be able to carry on their merry way. And you can see examples of this happening all the time if you look hard enough through these charts. So, if you scroll back and you want to practice marking up equal highs and lows just so you get it sort of drummed into your mind, so you know what to look for straight away. There's another set of equal lows there. This set of equal lows actually was not penetrated until here, where it broke through, went up, broke through it again, and then went up onto here. So that's how to use equal highs and lows to assist you in the process. I suggest that you backtest this yourself as well. So rewind your chart using the replay feature and try this out for yourself. Get in some practice. It can be a very helpful tool and make your trading that little bit more accurate. All right, well, that's all from us today. Hope you got something valuable out of that, and we'll see you in part 3. See you later.